Hello YouTube, this is Justin Game 44 here, and today we are here to talk about Dragon the Nine Realms. Now, I gotta be honest, Season 4 was actually more adventuring and more interesting and kinda, the ending was something I did not expected. But, how about we start getting into it? Now, I gotta admit, this was interesting. Apparently, this season takes place like a few weeks after they discover that thing. I don't know what you call it, but it's basically like a thermos something you like put in a scroll. If you know what you would call that thing, please let me know. Tom and everyone has been trying to figure out what it was inside, but Tom is so focused. He's been like so trying to figure out. He will not stop thinking of it. He tries opening it up because it turns out it's also like a puzzle thing where each side, like you can move it around like maybe it's some type of puzzle, even though there's a keyhole. Nonetheless, what happened is, dang, the lights are flicking. Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, the whole entire thing with Tom trying to figure out, of course, eventually, D'Angelo and Gene are both deciding, you know what, we're going to take care of the dragons. They get their little side plot where D'Angelo and Gene, where D'Angelo's trying to help, and Gene in a way is kind of messing up. And honestly, it was kind of funny. Now, with this episode, June, Alex, and Tom all go to the ice realm as Alex's pad is apparently tracking something. When they go there, they discover the ice realm, and Alex was funny in this episode as well, and really smart. But nonetheless, they finally meet Buzzsaw, which I was like, dang, about time. They start having their interactions, and honestly, this was a really great episode, to my opinion, because really, we see how Alex is behaving, where she's trying to see, she's able to see right through, but Tom doesn't. And really, Buzzsaw is pretending to be Kev, I think, and basically acting like he has a broken leg because of all those kids and everything. He's putting on an act, and when they have their backs turned, he tries to kill Thunder. He almost succeeded, but it turns out when they left, they didn't actually leave. They were all behind Feathers, and actually stopped him from doing so. And I was surprised that, wow, Buzzsaw was willing to kill Tom? But as it turns out, saved the day. June, the rest of the team actually have came back, and they actually save them in time. And well, Eugene has to basically explain the whole entire thing to everyone, and they're all mad at him. Of course they are mad. I mean, why wouldn't they be? Well, not really mad, like, wow. But they kind of just skip him explaining the whole entire thing, which, to me, in this episode, I would say about time. And honestly, it was really great to see. Now, in all honesty, this episode, in my opinion, was okay. And actually kind of great. I did kind of like to see that we finally got to see more interactions with Buzzsaw and finally with Tom, because we waited almost a year. Well, technically almost a year since this show has come out, now that there's 4 seasons. He came in season 2 in only one episode. Season 3, he never even interacted with Tom or the others. Here in the first episode, they finally did it. And honestly, it was great. I'm not gonna lie, I actually did enjoy it. Now, after that, episode 2 is where the Yeti dragon comes in. Tom is still trying to figure out how to open this thing, and yet he knows there's a keyhole. Since it was close to the fire realm, it possibly might have been in. The key might be in the ice realm, which I don't understand why it would be. But nonetheless, they go to the ice realm again, and this time they have to deal with a Yeti crab, but there's a storm coming. Tom decides to go and save his and find that key. He tries to keep making him, oh, maybe we should wait, maybe we should wait. Where basically D'Angelo's saying it's curfew time, where they have to go back home, but sadly they can't because of Tom. But eventually he does, but because of him wanting to go stay out so late, Feathers and Webmaster are gone. Which, by the way, I will admit something in this episode. In each episode, we kind of get to see both this and the last. D'Angelo was spending time with Gene, but that was because these two were having, we see how these two characters were together. In this episode, Gene and Alex are actually spending time together and actually talking about how their dragons are and how they both feel about they were both last in Dragon Club. Honestly, I did like this type of thing with these two. It was actually interesting seeing these two characters talk together, and both of their dragons when they were lost in the ice realm. We see them. You see throughout the episode they didn't like each other because at first Webmaster was a jerk, but then he's trying to help. And I'm not gonna lie, after seeing how much Webmaster actually does care so much about feathers, it was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, I ship them together. Now, besides that, they get captured by a Yeti dragon, and by the time all the other dragon riders come back for them, they actually find out and have to save them. They manage to do so and escape. And quite honestly, it's really nice. Feathers and Webmaster become friends, and also they actually become good friends. Now, in the third episode, this gets more interesting. A surprise twist. I thought this was not going to happen until the end of season 4, but it turns out Tom is getting mad that he couldn't figure out what the key where it was, and he accidentally knocked over the helmet, his Viking helmet, and the horn fall off, and he's upset because he broke it. But then it turns out it was a secret key that was in the shape of the strike symbol. He realizes and puts it in, and it turns out, voila, it opens up to be a dragon book. Now, to be honest, I wasn't surprised because not only they exposed the book, the Yeti dragon, all the other dragons we are going to see in the series. Well, besides the, well, we'll get into that by the time we get to that. But nonetheless, what happens in this episode is basically he's trying to figure out. We get to see images of Hiccup and all the other dragon riders, and he's trying to figure out what their names are. But since the names are in different language, he doesn't know what they are. U and Wei are very sick because they try to more of those fire dragons out again. So that's a problem they still gotta deal with. But nonetheless, they can't re-power up. And actually, in the book, it actually shows there is another dragon that's like U and Wei, and this is a Titan Wing. And throughout this episode, it's about them going through a mountain. June believes they have to go up, while the others don't believe because they each have different reasons why. But June is determined, and we get a little bit more character development here, and honestly, it's good. Now, by the end of the episode, it turns out the thing where they were going up was a Titan Wing U and Wei, which I am not gonna lie, that dragon was like way more bigger than all the other Titan Wings. But Tom apparently knew it was a Titan Wing, that's what you call it, and I was like, what? You didn't even read the book. You don't even know the language of it. Okay, I know I may be a bit picky, but still, he didn't know what a Titan Wing was before. This is his first time saying it. But nonetheless, the U Wei Dragon Titan Wing was actually amazing. I love how it looked. It was way more better than what we see in the trailer. Although I think it was way too big. But okay, no, I'm being a little bit picky there. It was amazing though either way. I was kind of maybe hoping that U Wei might have turned the reason why they were so drained, maybe because they were about to become a Titan Wing or something. That would have been interesting to see. But either way, I'm happy with what we got in this episode. We get to see other U and Wei dragons. I forgot what type of dragon it is. Mist Twister? I can't remember. But nonetheless, it turns out they needed the dragon was dropping it into its nest and then repowering the U and Wei up. And it was absolutely nice to see. Now, in the fourth episode, this was actually an interesting episode because it's actually Buzzsaw comes back and he's hunting down dragons. This episode actually reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon season 1. Wait, was it season 1 or season 2? Can't really. I think it was season 2, where Hiccup and the others went on to Dragon Island to actually see. That's what it reminded me of because Hiccup finds. Let's see, who was that? Oh yeah, Dagger, and it was actually amazing. Like he was pretending, oh, I'm just here to hunt dragons to make my father proud. Here, it's Tom and the others fighting Buzzsaw making camp, and he's capturing dragons to make a dragon army, similar to what. Wait, why do you keep saying that? Dagger, but instead he's hunting down dragons, and that's kind of what Buzzsaw is doing because he's making a dragon army in a way, but going to eat them and pretty much kill them eventually, and even instead making their skulls. Which, that's kind of creepy. Although I will admit, I think this episode could have been a little bit more creepier if he actually had a skeleton dragon that he already killed. I know that may be a bit dark, but just remember The episode that I was also referencing to about back in How to Train Your Dragon, Dagger had already have a dragon skull, and he admitted he already killed it. He already killed it. He has a few dragons. Of course, we're not going to actually see him do it on the show, but still, you kind of get my point there. You could have already killed the skeleton dragon like Dagger did, but nonetheless, turns out he's able to tame a big, dangerous dragon using a whistle and all the others, and he actually once again tries to kill Tom again, and now Buzzsaw is claiming himself to be king of all dragons. Sucks horrible, but nonetheless, because I don't think he deserves Dragon King. Now, throughout this episode, Tom is trying to make sure Thunder does not get killed because what Buzzsaw is doing. What could do to if he pisses off him too much, he helps him train it, and of course, it eventually backfires, but Tom is able to win along with the other dragon riders. They free all the dragons and get rid of the other dragon that he has tamed. Because Buzzsaw, it was only tamed because of the whistle, and when they got the whistle, they told it to fly away and be free. That's the last we see of him. And now, for the final last episode, just let you know, guys, this is just my quick review. I'm just making this point out. If you're not really finding this video good, this is like my first thoughts of it, and I just really want to get this video out of the way. I will be making more videos like this, where it goes into way more detail for each episode soon, but for right now, this is what we have. So, okay, let's get on to the last one. The Nightlights Part 1 and Part 2. Tom discovers the whole entire Nightlight, baby Nightlight, and they rescue it. Turns out it was one of the things that was caught by Buzzsaw's traps. When they bring it back, everyone's finding it adorable, cute, and Tom's mother is starting to get suspicious, but she's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, because even in the last episode, this is when it was all starting. But nonetheless, she's all trying to figure out how everything is going on. And eventually, Tom finds out where the dragons are, and we finally get to see Tom Thunder's family. Which, wow, I didn't really expect that, but it did happen. We've seen a bunch of nightlights and a Titanwing nightlight, I think. Although it wasn't that big compared to the other nightlights. It was just like a few feet taller. Just like a foot or two. But nonetheless, because of what they have done though, Tom actually blames himself because he actually brought in another dragon by accident, and once again we get another dragon fight. The Nightlight is actually mad at Tom for a few reasons, but also the main reason that he blames Tom. And now that this dragon here, he's telling him, you caused this, you fix it. And so Tom, and also he has his sword, he battles the dragon along with the Nightlight, and he wins. Thunder was going to stay, but actually, he decides at the end of the day, goes back with Tom, which was kind of nice. We already seen the other three dragons, well, Plowhorn's family, we only seen in the video game, but here we get to see all three of all the other dragons' families. Plowhorn should definitely get next. Now, nonetheless, actually no, we technically seen the Plowhorns at the beginning of the first season, although I thought those were all Titan wings because they were far more bigger. But no, nonetheless, now that we got that all taken care of, this is basically what we have gotten. At the end of the very final episode, at the very end, which this was something I did not expect. I thought they were going to do this in next season, like maybe almost at the end or the end of season 5. But the twist ending is Tom's mother found out. She was there in the cave. Tom was all excited that they were back, but then, oh, Mom, you're here. And she's like, what the heck? And she is just eyed wide and like, Tom? And then like that's the episode ends. And I'm like, what? That's the ending? No, you can't end it there. Where's episode 7? Oh, wait. This season only has 6 episodes. So, season 1 had 6 episodes. The next 2 had 7. I was kind of hoping this one would have 8 or 9. But nonetheless, it had 6. Honestly, to my personal opinion, I actually enjoyed this episode so much. It was good and great. This season was actually interesting, and I actually did enjoy it. Each episode was like more going and building up to something, and the episodes felt more well paced in a way. There were a few problems with it, but honestly, I don't have that much time to explain. So I will make another video soon, but until then, this is Justin Game 44. signing out. Until then, I will see you later. Bye.